I got an aluminum repair job to attempt in the shop today, and I wanted to bring you guys along and try to give you a video of what I got to do here. Mainly trying to get it set up, utilize some of my tools here, and use the rotary welding table and some of my other stuff. So that's what I've been doing, using this machine vise right here, two-piece machine vise, because every time you're working with a rim, you know, it wants to move around on you. You're chalking it up with boards on each side. So I got this set up right here so that it'll hold it and keep it steady and not have to roll around whenever I'm trying to weld on it. Okay, so I'll bring you in closer now and show you what's wrong with the rim and what we're going to attempt to do, and you know, all the interesting facts that you want to know. So you can see right here there's a hole that's punctured through this rim. And the reason why I'm going to attempt to fix this is that they've tried to find a replacement rim, a stock replacement rim, and they've had no luck. They've checked all of the boneyards in town and nobody has this rim. So luckily the spare rim on this vehicle is the same rim as what's on the car. So they use the spare rim and they've got that going. So this is going to be the new spare tire rim right there if this thing works. And I feel pretty confident that I can get this welded up. I've actually welded rims before. They had some stress cracks in the side and I welded them up and they aired up and it held. So we'll give it a shot. You know, if it doesn't hold, then they'll just have to go the other route and just keep searching for a rim. This is for a family member, so I'm trying to help them out. And what had happened was some reason the ball joint came loose. And I believe it was the lower ball joint, you know, and that thing came apart and the ball joint just pierced this rim and just busted right through it right there. So they asked if I could possibly weld it up, and I think that I can. So I've got to do plenty of cleaning. I haven't cleaned it yet because I'm just showing you guys the, you know, what we got to do. So I'm going to clean it real good and try to get some of that brake dust off of this area here. And then I've got a carbide burr. We need to go in there and just kind of clean this up a little bit. And I can see another little hairline crack started on one side there from whenever it got punctured. So I want to kind of grind that out, make sure the crack's out of there, and clean the surfaces up real well, brighten them up, and then we'll attempt to weld it. So I'm going to use the Everlast PowerTick 200 DV to do this. It'll be the first time I've actually used that machine for some aluminum welding, so we're going to try that out and see how it goes. I'm also going to set up the other camera to see if I can get you guys a better shot of actually welding. Now, I don't have a setup yet for an auto darkening lens or even just a regular welding lens. It's something that's on my list that I want to do, is try to machine or make some kind of housing for the camera. But I do have a dark shade for this camera that I use for brazing, and it gave you a pretty good image. I know it's not going to be enough for welding, but you'll be able to see a little bit more of what I'm doing when I'm in there trying to weld it. So we'll test it out. I'll take a piece of scrap metal and run a bead on it and see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and get started on it, cleaning it up and getting it ready for welding. I'm going to use some of this non-chlorinated cleaner from CRC to try to clean up that area right there. Yeah. But it's cutting it. I'm just going to keep on rubbing it, and we'll get in there and do some more cleaning on it though after that. Alright, our cleaner did pretty good getting most of that brake dust off there. And now we're going to go in there with this carbide burr. These are the kind that you want to use for aluminum, the very coarse, and they don't load up as bad as the other style that you usually use for steel. I'm going to go in there and try to clean this up just a little bit with this burr. See how we can do. That thing really cut, so you gotta hold on to it so it don't dig in. That thing has some really deep machining grooves in there from whenever it's machined at the factory. I mean, you can hear it with my fingernail. So I'm trying to grind those down so that it's more smooth around there, and I'm getting rid of some of the trash. My friend Joe, his dad David used to run D&D Weld, and he told me years ago, back whenever I was first starting out, that his teacher taught him, he learned somewhere in Texas, that his welding teacher told him, you want to learn how to weld aluminum? You go out back and get some dirty aluminum. Once you know how to weld some dirty aluminum, you can weld any aluminum. So it's always stuck with me. It's got to be clean. That's what David used to tell me, that it's got to be clean. My little setup right here, it works really well. Love my table. It takes just a little bit just to hold that rim. Don't take much at all. I think that's getting it. There's some kind of coating on there. So it's making sure all that coating was off of it. Like I said, we're going to use the Everlast to attempt this. I've done some test welds on aluminum before, and it did a great job. So this is the first time I've actually done it for a job. I'm learning how these functions actually work and benefit you when you're doing the job. So I've already got it set in AC. We're using 2T, which says pedal on there, but I'm using the thumb trigger. We're going to be using the thumb trigger here. 2T selection, so I'm actually holding the thumb trigger down during my welding and then let off the finger switch, whenever I'm ready to stop the weld. So we've got frequency, I've got it set at 135, and then the balance looks to be around 45. So it seems to be working pretty good right there. We're just going to give it a shot, and hopefully it's going to work out pretty good. But this is something that I need to get a little bit more insight on using these features on this machine, and learning a little bit more about it, really making sure that I'm using the proper selections whenever I'm doing the work. Well, you're not supposed to do that. Just gonna roll with it. I just want to go around this edge and just keep building it up. Not too bad. I've kind of got it flowing now. front side right there seems like it's not wanting to flow too well, like it's contaminated. I'm gonna grind this a little bit back out and redo that. We managed to fill the hole. That's a lot of aluminum, but I plan on dressing that back down. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to grind it down so it ain't all there, and maybe even having to re-weld it. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side, roll it, and see what that's looking like. Looks like that's welded real good. It's just acting kind of funny, but that filled in very good. That looks pretty good, but I do see a couple little spots that it could be a pinhole. I don't know, but I wanted to get that down, and I'm going to go back over it again and build it up again one more time, and then dress it down again, and hopefully it should have everything flow together really well. That's looking good to me, guys. Flowing in there nice. I'm gonna let that cool down just a bit. I'm just gonna dress that off again. All right, we're going to leave it just like that. All right, guys, this one's finished up. Hopefully we got us a good, solid, strong weld there, and it's going to seal up just like it should. I feel very confident that it's going to be. So this should be a good spare rim for the vehicle, and get them back in business there. So hopefully all the footage turned out. If you're watching it, I guess it did turn out okay, and I shared it with you. So anyway, on to the next project.